Hello everyone, it's Shark Snow here again. I am continuing the series about planting a single seed and becoming a quadrillionaire. Let me quietly tell you all, this is the seed I've been waiting a very long time to finally get. It's called CocoMango. CocoMango is a prismatic tier fruit. I bought it at the tire to seed shop for 7 garden coins, and I had to wait a very long time before I could purchase this seed. Of course, I will grow it in the most gigantic, massive form possible, and also add the most valuable mutations to it. Without making you wait any longer, I'm going to plant the seed right now. Since CocoMango is a combination of coconut and mango, I'll plant those two alongside the CocoMango so we can compare them all together. To save time waiting for the plant to grow, I'm going to use these two frogs. They can stimulate the plant's growth and help it quickly start producing fruit. I will arrange them separately so that the 3 types of fruits can be observed more easily. Here I have already prepared a carrot with quite a lot of valuable mutations so that I can use it later. It's finished from the outside. The trunk looks almost like a coconut tree, but the fruit that grows on it resembles a mango. Really bizarre, haha. An interesting feature of the CocoMango is that it looks like it has an angry little face, with sharp eyes and a frown. But instead of making it scary, that expression just makes it funnier and even cuter. I actually find it adorable, like a fruit that's trying to act tough but can't hide its charm. And here is the coconut fruit with its round mango, coconut, boom, CocoMango, haha. Such a unique and interesting combination. Alright, I'll focus on the CocoMango fruit now. Let's sell them before they receive mutations to see how valuable this fruit is. 280,000 shekels, and the fruit is only about 18 kilograms. Not bad, right? What about the fruit that is a little lighter? 219,000 shekels, a slight decrease. What about the 56 kilogram coconut fruit? About 6,000 shekels. What about the mango fruit? About 9,000 shekels. Checking again. The 16 kilogram CocoMango reached about 187,000 shekels, so good. And my entire inventory is around 216,000 shekels. Not bad, not bad. Both the coconut and the mango together are still not necessarily more valuable than the CocoMango, so the CocoMango clearly brings much higher value. This account of mine currently has far too many shekels. To properly carry out the challenge series from 20 shekels to Quadrillionaire, I will transfer all this money to my other account. And now I will release my squirrels to reclaim the CocoMango seed without losing the reclaimer. I will devote all my effort to discovering the huge form of the plant. It has a 0.5% chance of growing into the huge form. It is certainly not an easy number to achieve in order to obtain the huge form of the plant, but I will not stop planting it over and over again. I am determined to keep trying until the mango tree truly grows larger than usual, no matter how many attempts it takes. Aha! It seems this mango tree has grown much larger. I will place a few crates here so that it will be easier to stand when climbing up. I will show you how the CocoMango can change its appearance. This is the CocoMango fruit that hasn't fully grown yet, and I have to remove it using the shovel tool. You can see that the CocoMango now has a slightly brown color. Boom! Now it has changed color to red with a darkened pop, and luckily, also produced a larger fruit. This CocoMango weighs about 62 kilograms. Let's try selling it to see how much it is worth. 3.1 million shekels. Oh my god, truly outstanding for a fruit without any mutations that has already reached the million mark. And my entire inventory is about 3.7 million shekels. Very well. And now I will grow an even larger fruit with the Toucan. I guess it belongs to the tropical type since both coconut and mango are tropical trees. After finishing the arrangement, I immediately ran to the top of the tree to make harvesting easier. Oh no, the fruit has already grown, but it did not increase in size. All the harvested fruits are only at the most basic weight of the fruit, without any increase. Perhaps the Toucan is not feasible for the CocoMango, and this is not a tropical fruit even though it is a combination of 2 tropical ones, truly difficult to understand. I immediately sold all the fruits had just harvested and got more than 10 million shekels. Not bad for the wasted effort. Changing strategy. I will use the green bean to increase the fruit size. At the same time, I will also use a toad to help the green bean speed up the process. Wow, the CocoMango has really grown larger, and it is fortunate that the green bean does not apply mutations to the beanstalk. I must quickly harvest it, as I really want to know its weight and the value it brings. The CocoMango fruits are around 100 kilograms, with the lightest at 94 kilograms and the heaviest at 149 kilograms. Awesome. The heaviest fruit is worth 17 million shekels. My god, that's incredible. The next fruit is worth 13 million shekels, a slight decrease but still a very profitable amount. And the total for the last two fruits is 20 million shekels. Not bad, not bad. This time, I will continue using the green bean, but I will not stop there. I will also use sprinklers to stimulate the fruit to grow even larger. I will place the sprinklers to affect only the CocoMango, together with the peacock using its skill to reduce the cooldown of the green bean. Luckily, the sprinklers shop appeared right next to my garden. At the moment, I don't have enough money to buy another sprinkler, so I have to harvest and sell instead. I also used a Dilophosaurus to reduce the cooldown for the green bean, but for some reason, the combination of the green bean and the sprinkler did not make the fruit grow any larger. The fruit still grew to an average of around 100 kilograms. I had no choice but to sell all these fruits and try again. 310 million shekels for the entire value, a noticeable change, but I still need the fruit to grow even larger. Now I have enough money to buy sprinklers to prepare for the future. This time, I will use only the green bean to see if the result changes. Of course, I will still boost the green bean with a toad, and I will harvest all the fruits on the tree, ready to wait for the new one to appear. I used the peacock so the green bean could reduce part of the cooldown before being ready, but the foolish green bean ended up using its skill on a carrot instead. Oh my god, how could it be so idiot? This time it used the skill on the wrong fruit again, applying it to the beanstalk fruit. Oh my goodness. This time the green bean applied its skill to the correct fruit, but the fruit only increased slightly in size, not significant compared to the benefits that the sprinklers bring, especially the grand sprinklers, which are the best water sprayers. The fruits only gained a little more weight, just over 100 kilograms, with one increasing significantly to 164 kilograms, but I am still not satisfied with how the green bean works. I am so disappointed with this pet. It is completely useless. These CocoMango fruits sprouted, but since they were not big enough to harvest, I used a shovel to destroy them so I could focus on growing larger ones. This time, I will use only the frog to stimulate the tree to produce fruit earlier, along with the sprinklers. I believe this simpler combination might bring a more reliable result, as the frog can speed up the process while the sprinklers steadily support the growth. But it seems the fruit that grew is not very big, even smaller than what the green bean was capable of producing. I decided to change my strategy to using the Tabby cat to increase the size. Although the multiplier from the Tabby cat is not as high as the green bean, by stacking multiple cats together there will surely be better results. Before that, I want to clear out my inventory and the pile of fruits in the garden first. Let's see the value with a small mutation and a variant. 160 million shekels is not bad for the smallest mutations. 1.2 billion shekels for my entire inventory. At least this amount makes me hate the green bean a little less. These cats are very useful in increasing the fruit size. Every area where they sleep boosts the growth of the tree there. The problem is that the Tabby cats do not stay in one place, so I have to arrange them to go directly to the CocoMango tree. The more concentrated the area where the Tabby cats are active, the higher the chance of producing larger fruits. So I have to spend some time releasing the cats and picking them up again to place them in the right spot. One trick is to put this cake crate here, as most of the pets will be drawn to it. It is truly more effective than using the green bean, with some fruits reaching about 300 kilograms and the largest one reaching around 507 kilograms. Very good. Looking at the expression of the CocoMango, you can tell how cool it is when it reaches the heaviest value among the harvested fruits. It seems very proud of itself. Haha. Not too surprising when it carried the gold variant. It was sold for 4.1 billion shekels. Truly wonderful. Woohoo! The newly grown fruits are also very large, all over 300 kilograms, with the heaviest at 440 kilograms. Truly wonderful. I changed the fences to match the ongoing event, hoping that some magic will come to my garden. This CocoMango fruit was actually quite large, but I forgot to use the frog, which would have made it grow to 100%. Because of that, it only developed a little and took a very long time to reach completion. In the end, I felt it was not worth the wait, so I decided to abandon it and focus on mother fruits instead. Oh, is that an earthquake? No, it is the CocoMango that has grown. Truly wonderful, as all the CocoMango fruits have sprouted with quite large sizes. The fruits are steadily getting larger with each harvest, showing promising growth. I will keep collecting them one after another, watching closely as their weight increases. I will not stop until I finally obtain the fruit that reaches the most satisfying size I had ever seen. I find this CocoMango not cute at all. It actually looks rather unpleasant, so I decided to sell it to see what its value would be. 175 million shekels, just as I thought. Since it is not cute, its value is not very high either. I realize that the CocoMango is a sweet type fruit, so I will use the sweet soaker sprinkler. It will help me double the size of the fruit. Oh my god, I was held back by the tabby cats, and attacking them got me stuck. Oh, it was not because of the tabby cats, but because the CocoMango grew and trapped me. 1,000 apologies to the tabby cats. I will continue planting the fruit that I believe has the potential to become the largest one yet. Any fruits that do not meet the requirements will be harvested early, making room for better growth. I have strong faith that with the combined power of the tabby cats and the sweet soaker sprinklers, the CocoMango will eventually reach a much greater size than the ones currently growing. This strategy may take time and patience, but I am determined to see the impressive results it can bring. Sometimes the CocoMango fruits display quite impressive colors, even producing gold variants. However, I do not really care about those things. I value the size of the fruit above all else. After that, mutations and variants can always be used to make the fruit even more valuable by applying the skills of my pets. The truth is that if I use a full team of tabby cats, the fruit will have a chance to grow even bigger. However, in that case, the fruit will only partially grow, and I will be forced to water it so it can fully develop. But when I water it, I end up getting stuck inside that CocoMango fruit. It is time for the gate to the fairy world to open. Let's go there and see what interesting things await. I made a video about this fairy event, and I truly admit that it is quite exhausting to grind fairy points and open the enchanted chests. I created a complete video guide that you can watch to find the fastest method to beat the event without spending as much effort as I did. You can definitely do better by following my video. Honestly, this is a very fun and challenging event, and the rewards you receive are by no means small. Continuing with the work of planting, at least I only need to harvest and wait for the trees to grow, and I already feel that it does not take too much effort. Boom! Here it is finally. It produced the largest CocoMango I had ever grown. It is truly worth all the effort I put in. This CocoMango has filled my entire garden, and it feels as if the top of the fruit has become a second layer of land higher up for my garden. If this were on a public server, it would look really cool to the other players. I have to use the Kino beans to jump higher, because right now I cannot even enter my own garden. Oh my god, I still cannot enter the garden, so I will just have to lock it with my favorite tool and use the magnifying glass to reveal the value of this tree. It is worth about 3.5 billion shekels even without any mutations, which is truly surprising. I do not need to check its weight because sooner or later I will use the kitsune to clone the fruit, and then I will know the exact weight. For now, it is already big enough to see clearly with the naked eye. I have to endure being stuck right in my own garden to bring out the pterodactyls, which will help me jump higher to reach the top of the CocoMango. Now I will lock the fruits with my favorite tool, in order to easily add mutations to the CocoMango. Perhaps only one fruit is the largest, while the others below do not seem to be that big. After that, I will use the trowel tool to move the tree to another corner of the garden, leaving space so I can enter my garden and work more conveniently. The moving process is quite difficult as well. It is not easy to align the angle properly for such a gigantic fruit. Done. Only one corner of the garden is left open so that I can conveniently go inside. In this corner of the garden, there is also a crate that lets me jump higher without needing the pterodactyl. It makes it easier to move around the giant CocoMango and reach spots that were hard to access before. There is also a trap here. If anyone dares to enter my garden from this corner, they will end up like this. At this corner of the CocoMango, I can jump down and into the garden. I look like a bug of the game myself, always finding these silly glitches, haha. Now I am ready to add mutations to the fruit. Of course, I will also add the rainbow variants by using the butterfly, which is the best way to obtain the most valuable variants in the game. Because I forgot to unlock the biggest CocoMango fruit, the butterfly could not transform it into a rainbow. After unlocking it, I had to wait longer for the butterfly to finally turn it into a rainbow. Success! Of course, after reaching the rainbow variants, the old mutations will disappear, and I will have to add the mutations again from the beginning. I do not understand why some fruits still do not have enough mutations to transform into rainbow variants, so I have to keep adding mutations again to ensure that every fruit in the garden has rainbow variants. All the fruits are now fully rainbow variants. Now I will switch to another account to use the Kitsune to duplicate the CocoMango fruits, then send them back to my main account to check their weight. The mimic will copy the skill of the Kitsune, and then when it goes to the main account's garden, it will duplicate the trees and give them to my secondary account. While I am standing near the main account's garden, before the mimics return, their skills will recharge again, and they will continue duplicating the fruits. By this method, I was able to find out that the heaviest fruit weighs about 2,095 kilograms. Oh my god. Truly outstanding. The other fruits may not be too surprising, but I am really glad that the largest one reached such an incredible weight. Here are the 400 kilogram fruits, but boom, the heaviest one, over 2,000 kilograms, is in my hands. It almost makes me unable to see anything around me without the glimmering mutation. From now on, you can call Shark Snow the strongest superhero in the world, because he can hold the 2095 kilogram CocoMango, haha. The original CocoMango, so huge that I cannot sell the duplicated CocoMango fruits. I am forced to use recall to teleport to the gear shop, then carry the duplicated CocoMango and teleport back to sell. For Quadrillion, just from adding the rainbow variants and a few mutations, truly outstanding. The rest are smaller fruits, only about 400 kilograms. 111 billion shekels, not bad, not bad. All the remaining CocoMango is only worth a little over 1.5 trillion shekels, odd even equal to a single 2,095 kilogram fruit. Oh wow, that means I did really well. Garden Ascension has changed a bit. The required fruit is now simpler, with no mutations needed. And the money requirement only needs to be sent exactly as requested, so you will not lose all your shekels. Right now I only have a small corner of the garden left to plant, so I will quickly plant this strawberry tree and harvest it immediately, since Garden Ascension no longer requires additional mutations. You can see that I received 10 garden coins and only lost 5 trillion shekels instead of losing everything. But after each transaction, the amount of money that garden ascension requires increases. At the same time, the number of garden coins required in the shop for each item also increases, except for a few newly added items. But money is not a problem if you watch Shark Snow. You will see that making money from 20 shekels to becoming a quadrillionaire is very simple. I made a rather unwise decision to remove all the mutations from this CocoMango so that it would not be pink and transparent, making it easier on the eyes. After that, I just admired it for a while, then I realized the fairy event was happening, which meant the fruits would easily receive that pink transparent glimmering mutation. And now I will work on completing the game achievements. These achievements will grant me valuable rewards, and of course, I will have to operate only within this small corner of the garden. I will still release the frog to jump inside the CocoMango, because the frog will help me harvest the fruit sooner. Done. The first mission was also done in the same way. I completed the mission, and my reward was supposed to be a random seed in the seed shop, but when I went to check, nothing happened. I am not sure if this is a bug or not, but I did not see any random seed appear as the reward I was supposed to receive. Right now I have reached friendship level 3 with the eggs shop, and it has unlocked tier 2 of the shop. At first glance, there is nothing special except for 2 accessories for pets. The pet name reroller, which can change a pet's name, and the pet lead, which makes a pet follow you for 10 seconds. The second one seems a bit more useful. I will immediately use this mimic to test the new accessory. First is the pet lead mimic will follow me for 10 seconds, but its movement speed is quite slow, so it did not reach me before the effect wore off. Next is the pet name reroller. The name of this mimic is currently Shauna. After using the accessory, the name was changed to Sammy, and this accessory will generate random names. Back to the work of adding mutations to the CocoMango. Here is the carrot I have prepared in advance, storing valuable mutations for the tree. I will plant more carrots and then use the T-Rex, so that when it consumes a mutation from a carrot with mutations, it will spit out 3 other fruits. Of course, it will not consume mutations from any fruit that has been locked with the favorite tool. Therefore, I will remove the lock only from the carrot that has mutations. With the mimic's ability to copy, and the fact that it is not affected by the cooldown time of the pet it copies, the process becomes much faster. Since I already have an entire army of mimics, each one can repeatedly duplicate the effects without waiting. This makes adding mutations to the fruits incredibly easy and efficient, saving me a huge amount of time compared to relying on a single pet. At present, my CocoMango carries around 50 for mutations, not counting the rainbow variants. It is time for me to use the Kitsune from my secondary account to duplicate the CocoMango and take it to sell. Why are the fruits mostly duplicating into smaller ones? The thing I care about most is the largest fruit. I need them to be copied as many times as possible. The heaviest CocoMango carries the most valuable mutations, while the smaller fruits I do not even care what mutations they have. Oh my god. This is making me dizzy and giving me a headache. I do not even know what I am holding in my hands anymore. With 50 for mutations, the CocoMango is no longer normal. It looks so complicated and messy. I cannot reach the place to sell the fruit. I tried running from the gear shop to the sell area, but the problem is still too overwhelming. You can see the pressure from the CocoMango is immense. Even though I made it to the sell area, when I picked up the fruit, I could not endure it and collapsed in failure. Haha. $21 trillion. What happened? My original fruit was worth over 500 trillion. Could it be because this one is a smaller fruit, only about 400 kilograms? Oh my god, it turns out the previous fruit was only 400 kilograms, and even then, I could not stand firm. With a fruit this large, I cannot even approach the sell area to sell it. It is just too overwhelming. I give up. I will just sell my entire inventory all at once because I cannot hold the large fruit in my hands to sell it. 1.7 quadrillion. Woohoo, very good. Very good. I finally managed to sell them all. I continue duplicating the CocoMango, but this time, I will take only the 2 largest fruits to sell. Because this 95 kilogram fruit with 50 for mutations is far too massive for me to hold in my hands, I will only take a small number and sell them gradually by selling my entire inventory. More than 1 quadrillion with just a CocoMango fruits, woohoo! It is truly easy to become a quadrillionaire. Now I am satisfied with this harvest season, and I will unlock all the CocoMango fruits here. Harvest and get ready to plant a fruit even more gigantic than this. Do you hear that? Yes, when you pick up the CocoMango, it makes that sound, haha, so funny. And now I will sell them to free up space in my inventory. Oh, I forgot the 1T bug still is not fixed, silly, but I do not mind with the money I got from the CocoMango. There will be no fruit above 1T or below 1T. I guarantee it. Perfectly done. It is time to receive more garden coins. Oh no, I no longer had any dragon fruits in my inventory. This is the carrot that helped me store many mutations, but now I already have fruits with more mutations, so it can be harvested. Now it is possible to trade with Garden Ascension. I was planning to trade more, but right now I do not have any apples left. I once thought this pet was not very valuable until I realized its true ability. If there is a fungus-type plants in my garden, all types of trees will increase by 0.01 in size, and the limit is that it only works with a maximum of 300 fungus-type plants in the garden. Right now, I happen to have a total of over 300 seeds combined of dust puff and mushroom. I will turn my garden into a land of mushrooms right now. Done, everything has been arranged properly. Now I will release Shroomy so it can affect the CocoMango tree. To avoid the fruits growing and covering my entire garden, I will place the tree in this corner. After that, I will place pancakes around the CocoMango tree, giving it a chance to attract pets closer to the tree. The problem is that Shroomie moves around a lot, and its skill range is small. But this is no longer an issue, because I have discovered a bug for Shroomie. First, I will release all the Shroomies into the garden. After that, I will use the pet shard to add mutations to it. A miracle happens when I use the clean pet shard on the Shroomies that have mutations. Shroomie will stop and remain motionless at that spot, while still releasing its skill. After quite a tiring time arranging them, this group of Shroomies finally stayed still in one spot. I kept one slot free to release the frog. It did work, but the fruit does not seem very large yet. Perhaps it is because the mushrooms have not grown enough, or maybe that is simply the normal size boost Shroomie provides. The fruits are mostly close to 300 kilograms, with some over 400 kilograms. Not bad. Not bad. The CocoMango fruit grew quite quickly, so before my frog could make a sound to activate its skill, the fruit had already grown. As a result, it turned out that way, and I had to discard it so my frog could do its job properly. Because the mushroom and dust puff fruits have not fully grown, Shroomie cannot make full use of its skill. I will use additional sprinklers to make the fruit grow to the most enormous size possible. Since I already have sprinklers, the fruit will grow quickly, and I will not need to use the frog. Any fruit that grows without being big enough, I will simply discard. In the end, it produced a fruit weighing about 467 kilograms. Not bad, but I need a result more astonishing, like that 2095 kilogram fruit. The sky shop appeared near my garden, so I bought a few useful tools. After equipping myself with enough tools, I immediately returned to the work of planting trees. Personally, I believe that Shroomie's ability to increase fruit size might actually have a slightly greater potential than the Tabby cat. Each shroom has the capability to multiply the fruit size by 3 times, which is already a very strong effect. Meanwhile, my Tabby cat usually increases the fruit size by just over 2 times. Of course, there are a few cases where certain Tabbies can push it above 3 times, though when considering the overall average and stacking the effects together, it seems that Shroomie may hold the upper hand. Over a longer period of testing and comparing results, I feel that the mushrooms provide a more consistent boost, making Shroomie's growth potential stand out more clearly, and that of the Tabby cat. Boom! Oh my god, the ground has changed. What just happened? Oh wow, even though I planted the CocoMango tree in the corner of the garden, it has grown a fruit that is larger than my entire garden. It is worth 1.8 billion shekels even without any mutations. But the fruit has not fully grown yet, so I still have to water the tree to help it finish maturing. But the bigger the fruit gets, the more I get stuck in the garden. It lags terribly. Finally, it is completed. Now I have to find a way to move the tree to a place where I can stay inside my garden. After struggling for a while, I still could not find any empty corner of the garden. It had grown so large that it covered my entire garden. Now I will release the squirrel so that it can help me avoid losing the reclaimer while cleaning up my garden. I will clear out some of the mushrooms and dust puff plants to add mutations to the CocoMango more precisely. Because there are too many mushroom fruits stuck inside the CocoMango tree, I cannot collect them, so I cannot add mutations to the CocoMango and have to use mutation sprays to give it mutations. After that, I will use the mimic and the butterfly to transform its rainbow variants. The butterfly only applies its skill to trees that have 5 or more mutations. I was only able to add the rainbow variants to the fruit, and it is now worth 90 billion shekels. I decided to harvest it right away because I could not add any other mutations to the fruit. Oh, what did something go wrong? This fruit looks even bigger than the previous one covering my whole garden, but it is only a little over 1500 kilograms. I know for sure that when I sell this original fruit, I will only receive 1 T in value, but that is fine after all. I have already become a Quadrillionaire. Oh, my entire inventory is worth more than 1 trillion shekels at least. That is less disappointing than just 1 T. Haha. Right now I can finally clear out my garden, There really is no way to grow larger fruits as conveniently as with the tabby cats. After that, I will use the mimic and the butterfly to transform its rainbow variants. The butterfly only applies its skill to trees that have 5 or more mutations. Using Shroomie to increase the fruit size actually works, but it is limited in terms of mutations. The mushrooms grew all over the garden, making it impossible for me to simply bring out pets to create mutations for the tree. The pets would first have to apply mutations to about 300 mushrooms and dust puffs before reaching the CocoMango, which makes things very difficult and forces me to waste a lot of time waiting. $879 million shekels for some of the dust puff fruits and mushrooms that I accidentally harvested. I continue trading with Garden Ascension to receive garden coins. I only need 1 apple, so I harvested another one for this frog to eat. It seems hungry. Next, I will have to plant bamboo. I still have not given up on the idea of growing a bigger CocoMango fruit. This time it is still the combination of the tabby cat and the sprinklers. Let's see if I will get a bigger fruit. My inventory seems to be full, so I will sell some of the items. The amount of money is NPC is asking for is getting higher and has now reached 13 trillion. At that moment, I suddenly remembered there were achievement tasks that needed to be completed. These are all easy tasks to carry out. The reward I received is to seed packs. Let's try rolling them to see what luck I get. Here I have 5 seed packs. That was way too ordinary. There was nothing special either. Aha, this one is not bad. Very good, they are all mythical, but the mango seems to be more valuable. Nothing surprising, but that is already very good for normal seed packs. Keep finding a giant CocoMango fruit. Although the tabby cat does not have stats as good as Shroomie, it is neat and convenient, with no issues when adding mutations to the fruit. The only drawback is that the tabby cat tends to move out of the area where its skill needs to be applied, but with just a bit of adjustment, it can achieve the expected results. For example, the 2095 kilogram fruit is proof that the tabby cat is very useful. Woohoo! It finally produced a standout fruit. Its value is about 1.2 billion shekels. It still does not seem bigger than the giant 2095 kilogram fruit, but I am tired now. I do not want to plant anymore, so I will quickly mutate it. So I have successfully added all the mutations that I had prepared for it. Of course, I will still duplicate it using the kitsune so that selling will match the exact price from the trade board. 30 trillion. This is probably one of the lighter fruits. 28 trillion. This fruit is even lighter than the previous one, but not bad. 33 trillion shekels, so good, but I am hoping to sell the biggest fruit. Still just circling around with small fruits. I have sold nearly half of my inventory, but it is all small fruits. Where are the big ones? Oh my god, I cannot hold the biggest fruit steady to sell it. It is still too overwhelming for me. I have sold my entire inventory and received 7.6 billion shekels, while keeping the biggest fruits. It made that sound when I fell down, so funny. Haha. I will remove the favorite mark from the fruit that I want to sell. 178 trillion, woohoo! I can finally sell it, that's wonderful. So I have succeeded in becoming a quadrillionaire from a single CocoMango seed, and I have also grown the largest fruit, reaching 2,095 kilograms, with a value of 540 per trillion. For now, I still cannot find any other way to make it grow even bigger. See you in the next video.